This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com. My screen is flipping a bit because of the connection, but I know you can hear my audio well. Podcast One sent out a release today saying that Steve Austin discussed on his latest podcast that he feels like he could get through one more match despite all of his injuries. And in theory, yes, he could have another match. People have been asking him about it at his recent WWE appearances in Tampa for the Raw reunion show and at Madison Square Garden for the Raw return to Madison Square Garden. Austin is officially being advertised now for the Smackdown premiere on Fox next Friday night, which is no surprise. They need all the star power they can get from that. And they have a lot of money from all these TV revenue sources. I am positive that they will come up with the money to pay Austin to wrestle one last match. And from his point of view, he never really had a retirement match, and he could have a massive retirement match. So you may as well go out with a bang and have one last big payday. In other wrestling news, the 1 hour condensed version of NXT is going to air in Canada on Sportsnet on Friday nights, leading into the Smackdown show. It's not going to air live on Wednesday nights. Obviously, I'm not watching it tonight if I'm talking to you guys on here. So let me know how it was in the comments. This is the last NXT before they have AEW as competition next Wednesday. And as we've heard, speaking of Canada, no Canadian AEW outlet yet for Canada. It is going to air in the UK on ITV, but it's only going to air Sundays at 8:20 a.m. With 1 hour highlight shows airing on the main network on Mondays at 11:45 p.m. So there's going to be a massive delay for the UK. Nick Jackson, who is an AEW executive of the Young Bucks, also confirmed that there's going to be a dark match before AEW. They're taping next Wednesday in Washington. And he also said that he doesn't see any chance that AEW is going to work with New Japan. NXT UK is going to be moving to Thursday nights. Impact has announced they're going to be on Tuesday nights on Access. So we have Raw Monday on USA, Tuesday Impact on Access. Wednesday is AEW Dynamite on TNT and NXT's UK show. Thursday is going to be NXT UK. Fridays it's going to be Smackdown, and 205 Live is apparently going to be recorded after Smackdown now, according to the speculation. They're not going to put it on after NXT for show. Well, at least they're on TV. Better than not being on TV. Although really YouTube is growing and growing. So if they put their show online, I think that will help its viewership as well. People are complaining. We're complaining last week that the second hour of NXT was on the network. People, yes, made a comment that she apologized for towards somebody that made, I guess, a transphobic remark about her transgenderism, which I expect she's probably going to be hit with a lot more comments like that once AEW goes on TNT. I believe she's fighting for the women's championship. I said this before. I have no issues with transgender people, but I think they should have their own division. I don't think they should be in the women's division because they're built differently than men. Jared is saying, being that I'm friends with Stone Cold, would I have concern about him taking bumps again with his past health issues? I'm not friends with him. I've spoken to him on the phone and messaged him a few times. He's plugged me on his podcast 3 times. I have no concerns for him at all because in wrestling, you decide the risks that you're going to take in a match in most cases. And he'll be in there in a very controlled situation if he gets back in the ring. It's not like on the independent scene where you could get in there with an independent guy that's barely been trained and could drop you on your head. But I do think he should come back, collect a massive payday. I'm sure they'd pay for him in Saudi Arabia if he's willing to go there. But they'll probably want to use him on SmackDown. Danny produces, would one more blow to the head even matter to Billy Jack? Well, we know Billy Jack doesn't like Austin. That would be an interesting match, but I don't see that ever happening. Dr. D seemed at the Cauliflower Alley Club like he was trying to call out Austin possibly for one more wrestling match, but Austin squashed that rumor. Robert Cook says, who should he work? I have no idea who he's going to work. This is way too early to speculate, but the whole point that his podcast sent out a release about it and that WWE is desperate for ratings right now, and there's a wrestling war that's about to start next month. I'm sure they'll come up with someone good. I doubt it would be Brock Lesnar, because that would be a very physical match where he'd be taking a lot of suplexes. So that would not be a good match for him. Goldberg, that would be a high-drive match, but Goldberg, did he drop The Undertaker on his head in Saudi Arabia? And he's known for giving Bret Hart that career-ending concussion. So I'm not sure he would be the safest guy for Austin to go in with. He has said he's smashed Cain Velasquez, so it seems like Goldberg might feud with Cain Velasquez if they sign Cain to WWE, which I believe they might. I believe they could offer him the most money. But he does have that one more date, October 13th, for the AAA show in LA, which we have nothing on right now. If someone wants to tell me if they know more than me, all we know is Cain Velasquez is going to be appearing on the show. No matches other than that. I did talk to Hugo Savinovich a few days ago to ask if that's going to be another combined show with Impact, and he didn't know. It is noteworthy that apparently, maybe in this week's Observer, we're going to have more news, but apparently the AAA Lucha Libre show combined with Impact in Madison Square Garden had something like 60 total pay-per-view buys. So that would be truly horrible if that was the case. I do think they should use the Blood Hunter, though, on that LA show. But there's a lot of you guys on here. Thanks for all your questions. Keith Lane says WWE needs stars. They definitely do. They definitely do. With all this content, you can't just have all this content filled with no names. And it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to start filling NXT with more stars.